Okay, we're live. Yeah. So doing this YouTube live today. I think it's a little different. I want to try it out and see how it goes, see what I would get. Um yeah, and it even shows up on my phone because I'm a subscriber to my own channel. This is cool. This is cool. Just trying to consolidate some stuff. So welcome to this week's live stream. Um I'm Joe Burns. I'm the money master. I'm here to help you with your money issues. Okay, let's clarify that. I'm here to help you with the emotional side of money, right? And how you feel about money and how it affects our everyday lives, right? And then the interactions we have and all that fun stuff. So, um, yeah, welcome. Each week I live stream about a different topic when it's related to money. And this week I want to talk about money stories and why they don't really serve us, right? What are money stories doing to us, and what are they? Because here's the deal, right? When we're talking about money, we all live, or we're talking about anything really in life, right? We live life by our own perception. Okay, think about it for a minute. We really live life by our own perception. The truth, right? The truth that we have um, can be different depending on the subject we're talking about, depending on lots of different things. Okay. So when we look at our truth, our worldview, our perspective from what we see the world as, and our topics and things like that, there's always, it's always coded with experience um, and just different things in life, right? Experiences, like I said, outcomes, results, and things that we have by doing certain things. So that creates our worldview, right? When we're talking money, we've all had experiences with money, right? That I would call a money story, right? And really, this is how money's been shaped in our minds from childhood, how it's been reinforced as we've grown up, how we've dealt with it as we've been adults, as we, see different ways that other people interact with it. We start to create this story, and the stories are there because we create them, right? Just think about that for a minute. We create our own stories based on our perception. So if that's the case, then we can change those stories. And that's what I want to talk about most today, that our perception, our way, the way we see money, right? The way we look at money is the way we've been taught to look at money. And that's why you get so many differing values and stories and different arguing points about how to make more money, how like some people have lots of money, some people don't have lots of money, right? And like these different hierarchies, right? And what we've put ourselves up to be, because our perceptions dictate really what we think that we're capable of. And that's where the story starts to get dangerous, right? Because we've grown up in a culture that says we can only make so much, or our culture or family says that you have to get a certain type of job, or that some people can be rich, some people have to be poor. Whatever the case may be, it starts to color the perception that we have. Okay, and as we go about life, then we start just interacting with it. And the thing that's most dangerous about these money stories is we never take the time to stop and think about what's going on, nor do we take the time to stop and challenge those beliefs. And that's where it starts to get dangerous, because we go about just living life like it's just our truth. And that's okay. But if you want different results, you have to start challenging these perceptions and truths, because how you lived your life thus far has gotten you to where you're at. Right? And there's no monetary amount attached to that statement. It's just simple fact that how you've lived your life has gotten to where you're at. So if you want something different, we're probably going to have to do something different. Okay. When it comes to money, and the things I see the most with my clients is, as we start changing this perception, making money starts to become a lot easier. We're starting to fix the relationship that they have with money. That's really important, because that puts 100% of the control back in your lap. If you can change the story, you can change the outcome. It seems like such a simple task to do, right? A simple thing. But when you really come down to it, it's really hard, because our habits continue to pull us back to how the old stories were. It's how we're taught. It becomes instinctual. So we have to be very aware of what's happening. And that's where the story comes in, right? So I always tell people the best way to do the story is to really understand how we're doing it. Like today, like a perfect example of this, okay? Let's just do this. So today, Debbie and I were talking. For those who don't know who Debbie's my wife. And we were talking today, and she's like, oh my gosh, like the story, right? And it's like we're looking in the mirror, right? We look in the mirror, we see this perception of us. Well, through our eyes, through our lens, we see this person staring back at us. Money story is the same thing. We'll say it, we'll see it, we'll see the opportunities, we'll not see the opportunities. It goes through this lens of a money story. Okay. The problem is when it comes back, it goes through that same story. And that's what really starts messing this up. So it's a lens that distorts the truth not once, but twice. Right? Because we're going to see it a certain way. And as the feedback comes back, we're going to see it again. So the story's there because it's been created, right? There's an experience that created emotional attachment to something, right? And as we go through that, we take some actions based upon those emotions, and then we get a result. And back to that, right? If you're not where you want to be, then it's time to start changing the story. So how do stories get created? That's really how, right? The other side of it is why don't they serve us? Right? Why do money stories not serve us? People are like, I really like the relationship I have with money. I like how I see money. Again, I have to say, it's going to impact the way you're talking about money, right? And what's capable and what's true. Now, where this starts to get into, if we look at like money and racism, if we look at money and wage gaps, if we look at money and social hierarchies, things like that, right? The stories we've been told, either from our families or from culture we live in or from society, is that we can only make it so far. If you take money and racism, you really see that the systems in place have been put in a way that then also creates a story. So we have to start looking at what systems are in place that also help create the narrative or story. Right? And when we start putting all these pieces together, we can start to see why we respond as humans the way we do, especially to money. Okay. And as we look at that, like that's what I want you to start to challenge. Now, it's not to like go out there and fight against people. I don't want to cause contention. But what I want you to do is look inwardly to be like, how have these things impacted my life? How does my story impact my earning potential? How does my story impact who I think I can talk to and what services I can provide for people? What do my stories about money say how I should interact with my family? See, they impact all aspects of our lives. And if we can start to change that, then we can start to see change in other areas of our lives. But we have to be willing to look at the story. Like the story is the problem. Because 99% of the stories that you have out there are not actually true. It's simply, again, your perception about how you interact with money. Now, if you take this and say, what are the other stories? How you interact with other people, how you think and believe about people in your own lives, right? And that's a topic for another day. But really looking at it overall and saying, hey, how do I think about money? What is the real story about money? What's my perception about it? And how can that be not true? How can I look at that at a different perspective? Because I promise you that if you will do that, as you start to deconstruct those stories and call them out, then you can start seeing a different perspective. You feel more emboldened to take different actions. And that's when you start getting different results. Now, if you don't believe me, you can look at my website. I have tons of testimonials on there with people who have done this exact thing. Right? They start changing the way they think about money, their perception about it, how they interact with it, and they start doubling, tripling their income. Just let that sit for a moment, right? The real results are, hey, I'm changing the way I think about myself and about money and these internal pieces. But then what it does is it causes us to do some different things on the outside. We feel more empowered, more emboldened to do things that we wouldn't normally do. And sometimes that's connections with other people that we might not reach out to in a way that we feel like we can help them instead of just looking for some way for them to pay us. And in those relationships and connections, we might have other connections that might bring business in. But as we do that, we really start to make more money. And if anybody's watched and followed me for a while, you know money's not the end goal here, right? The legacy you leave and the impact you make upon this world is way more important. We just simply need more resources to be able to make that happen. Money's one of those. So that's why we're going to focus on the money. So this week, as you go about this week, really think about, how is my money story? Because we all have them. So don't fool yourself by saying, no, Joe, I don't have a money story. That's not true. It's really not. So think about this week. How is my money story impacting my earning potential? How is my money story impacting how I interact with people? How's it impacting my business? How's it impacting me? How's it impacting my relationships? Okay, pick one of these and just ask yourself and see how it's impacting you, your perception, again, on how you feel and think about money and how it's coloring those other interactions with other people. So that's your homework for this week. I always give homework. We're not taking action, inspired action, intentional action, then we're not seeing transformation we want. And if you want to start making more money so you can have more legacy and impact, then guess what? You got to start doing some of these things. You got to start challenging your beliefs and your perceptions. Because if not, you're just going to stay where you're at. But I know for myself and for those who are working with me, we're moving. We're moving quick. We're making a lot of stuff happen. Earning money along the way, but really leaving an impact for those who follow. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Drop them in the comments below. As always, if you like and subscribe to the channel, you'll get these notifications saying that, hey, I'm live and it's a new topic every week. So until next week, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on money stories and what you got going on. So until next week, we'll see you later. Bye.